Simon, how's it going? How you doing today?
Hey, John. Good to see you, bud.
Good to see you as well. Thanks so much for taking some time to chat with me today. Talking about the Google Ads account suspension that we helped you with here recently at StubGroup. We were very excited to get you back on board with Google, and you're very gracious to agree to have this conversation. Just talk about kind of what that process looked like, what happened to you initially, how we helped with that. So hopefully this will be a helpful conversation to those watching.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and I appreciate the hard work. I know it's a scary time, and I think the team did such a good job to put basically my stress levels at ease and talk me through the process. I think that was like the kind of big thing right at the gate that kind of felt so seamless was, we had been stuck, with this account. You wake up one morning, and mine was on a Sunday too, so it was like the worst fucking day. To get into it. So like Sunday we woke up, our account got basically shut down. But it wasn't just any account. This account has spent $55 million over the last 2 years. So it was like one of our seasoned accounts. Had no clue, and that's the biggest thing. Like we had no clue why. It was just circumventing issues, which when you look into the documentation is insane. Like this, I mean, it just covers everything. I basically, if Google found you falling down the stairs, I feel like that was covered under that circumstance. I think it's insane, like what can be done. But yeah, you guys are great. So, kind of the process. First of all, one thing I think like would be good for anyone viewing this is understanding that like unlike Facebook, you can try over and over and over again to appeal. Like it's not just one and done. I think there is a time where they can block it off, but as long as you're respectful, I think they'll let you try and figure it out. But also the documentation is insane. So having you guys come in and basically explain to us what we needed to do, what we needed to change, even though it was a little bit of work up front, was probably like just stuff I just didn't even think about. So was super, super pleased about the process, especially initial, like calming us down. I'm going through that. That was like killer, for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the things that frustrates us so much with Google is, like you said, they don't tell you what you need to do to fix things or what documentation. It's not like there's, hey, here's the checklist, just do these things and we'll be happy. It's like, now we've had to figure this out, over a decade at this point. And it's still not a perfect science because Google's always changing. So sometimes I'm sure our team, when they were working with you probably had some of this like, hey, this is our best idea. Let's try this, let's try that, because at the end of the day, Google likes to obfuscate, what they actually want to see in establishing the legitimacy of an account or a business.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I think that's like a big thing too. It's like, I mean, I think we hadn't done anything different. That was like the biggest thing, right? For us, like we hadn't done anything different. So we were like super stressed out. Like normally, like if we, like on other accounts we've had banned before, it's like we put a new link up or a new page, and then 24 hours later it gets shut down. All we do is go in, edit, and it's back, right? So this time was completely mind-boggling for us. So that was like a big thing on the process for that. And like you said, like we tried to look through the documentation ourselves to try and figure it out, and there's just no hope. Like you said, like you guys have been doing this for a decade, so like you've basically done all the research, but also like learned on the job. Because most people aren't doing this week in, week out, right? Like their accounts are getting shut down week in, week out, where you're constantly fighting them. So that was like a huge point for me out of the gate, was like just getting that information, someone talking me through what the process likes, but also telling me like what the best outcome is and what the worst outcome is. I think that was like a biggest understanding. And you guys have such a good rate as well. And you kind of laid out like, hey, as long as you haven't done these things, there's a chance. But if you have, like, just be honest and we'll tell you that it's not going to work, which was huge for us.
Right.
So that was a good start for us. And then the process was really, I will say this, John, I thought the process was really, really good with the team. Like just to give, people like a true background. So we started with you guys probably 2 months ago, and the team was very upfront with like, hey, just give us 60 days. Like just give us 60 days and then like we'll revisit it. And like I think we actually submitted like 9 appeals. So just to give like people a full understanding of the process, and like those appeals aren't just like, hey, look at my stuff now. Like your team wrote out like huge documentation after we made the edits, and the edits weren't crazy. They were just like updating our terms, like with some specific language. We went in and they, you guys managed the whole account too. You did a lot of the legwork too. I think that's one thing I'd like everyone to understand is like, obviously stuff that we had to do was just because of security, like our servers, that stuff we just didn't, but in the account, you guys did everything to help us get going there. And our main goal here was to obviously get that legacy account back. But my biggest fear was that I was told that I wasn't able to open any more ad accounts. So as an agency owner and a product owner, that was the biggest fear that I had, was like, shit, I've got to go and open up new businesses. And then when they ask for verification, I'm going to have to like either have my business partner do the verification, because then it will get flagged for me. So that was like our biggest concern. Like we're not even sure if we'll ever run an ad in that account again, but like we're just going to open new. That was our biggest concern. Like honestly, that was our biggest like fear, was that I'm the main media buyer at the company and one of the main, the main owners. And like now it's like, well, if someone checks, if Google decided just to go down the rabbit hole and look at all the documentation for our company and then see my name on it, would they ban us our account? Like that was our biggest fear, like all the time. Like what if, we have a software company that's doing pretty well, and we were, and Google's like our number one source of traffic there. It's basically 5 million a year in annual recurring revenue. We're trying to grow that to 50. And like all my business partners were like, dude, what if they look, like obviously they know I'm attached to the account. They're like, what if they look at that and like that account gets shut down? Like what does our business look like? And I was like, so everyone was stressed. So like not just me, like business partners, like teams. So like, so you guys talked us through all of that, like understanding that, the likeliness of other accounts getting shut down was low, but it could still happen. So just don't do this, don't do that. I thought that was phenomenal. Also, the way that you guys work also with the pricing structure was phenomenal too. Like, I mean, this is no risk for me. There was like zero risk for me. It was just my time, but the time's going to pass anyway, and my account was locked. So like, it was such a no-brainer for us to jump in with you guys. But yeah, like it was super good. It was super, super good. I can't thank like Lucian and Becky, like all the guys on the team were phenomenal, and we just got into a really good rhythm of like working on stuff. So I was like super pleased.
Well, I'm really appreciate you sharing those things, and so glad that we have the team in place to do that kind of work and hear that kind of feedback about. So that makes me happy as a business owner and being in charge of things here at StubGroup. And I'm glad too that you mentioned how many appeals it took, because that's something we do try to be very transparent with people, when they look to hire us. Is it's not a magic wand that we're waving. There's a lot of work and persistence that goes into this. Sometimes we are, successful out of the gate. We've had clients who got suspended within a day or two of working. And then sometimes it's a slog, and, it's testing things, it's pushing back on Google persistence. And so we appreciate your patience in letting us do that, because I also know it's very stressful when you're like, oh, Google said no, Google said no, Google said no. And you're like, well, what the heck? We hired you to fix this. Why is Google saying no? But sometimes they say no for a while we keep pushing, and then ultimately, get that email that makes the day a really good day.
Yeah, and it's such a good point too, because like actually after like appeal 5, we actually stopped doing anything. Like we actually stopped updating. Like the team were like, no, like everything here is like by the book. So what we'll do is we'll reword the appeal. And what was crazy, that some appeals like were like instantly returned as no. Like I'm talking like the appeal gets submitted, 20 minutes later it's gone. Like so you're in your head, you're like, this is just someone who doesn't care, or it's a bot, right? So that was like, that's what kind of normally, and that happened like the 4th time, 5th time, and 6th time. And that's when I was like, hey guys, like, what's the deal here? Like, and then the team again, I can't say how unbelievably good the team were, like, and how like obviously John, you've had to get this post, like team was just like replied to me instantly. And I would travel a lot, so I think I was like on Dubai time at the time, and like it was like 9 o'clock at night. Not setting anyone's expectation that the team were like, we'll speak to you at like 3 a.m. in the morning, but I'm just saying like Lucian was like, boom, like just reply back being like, dude, I just saw it. Don't stress it. What we'll do is we're gonna give it a week, just a break, like a whole week break, and we'll submit appeal next Tuesday. And we kind of got in this weekly review, and then like I think we sent one on a Monday, and then like I woke up because I'm now in Australia doing this interview. I was actually in Australia at the time, and I was obviously it was like whatever time it was, US time zone's crazy. I'm probably 18 hours ahead of everyone right now, but I was in a cab on the way to a Tai Lopez event where I was speaking, and like we got the email that the account was open, and I was with my business partner in the Uber, and we were fucking pumped. Like we were so pumped, and like we, you know, and then like I emailed the team back, and I was like, oh fuck, it's like 1 a.m. Like, so it's what you guys did. I can't thank you guys enough, because even though we might not use the account again because we're so scared, but also you guys give us tips after that, like, hey, don't worry, like, you know, like we've got it down. The ability to open new accounts, and you guys actually give us a good structure. That was like what was incredible too. It's like you guys kind of hinted at like the structure moving forward, because we were trying to run some affiliate offers through this account. We were trying to do our own lead gen, so there was a mixed match of domains, and the team just giving us good advice on, okay, so like when you have a new domain, like set up a new account, like, and then just help with the pixels over. So I mean, just in general, and I've been doing this for 10 years, and some of the advice that you guys give me were stuff I have never heard before, but just makes complete sense, and it's working for us. So, I mean, you guys went above and beyond. I can't thank you guys enough, honestly, for the ease of process. It didn't take too much of my time. That's a big thing. Like, obviously, the first couple of days when you guys wanted to get everything straight for the website and the account, you know, obviously I have a team. So it took I think it took about 12 hours of team time. So that's not just single 12 hours, that's like my designer, my developer, and maybe me all combined working 12 hours on the changes that we needed. And then for us, it was an armchair ride. Like, I can't say it enough. Like, it was an armchair ride for us. And like I said, like, kind of just want to mention it again, because anyone watching this that's in this situation, like, it's going to take time. Like my business was kind of stunted for 6 weeks to 8 weeks, not because of John or the team, obviously because of Google, but like, if you can stay patient, I know a lot of people might not be in a unique situation where I was able to still run on other accounts. Like, that's a long time if you only have one account and that's the income that you drive through. But like, I think, so I maybe had an opportunity to be more patient than others, but if you can just be a little bit more patient right out of the gate, and understand this could take a little bit of time, I think like these guys will get it back. Like, no guarantees obviously, but I mean, looking at the way that I was violated and stuff, like I was using different domains, I was using different business names to run. I was running affiliate offers, which is kind of like not a huge no-no, but it's definitely it can be confused as like multi-level marketing. I feel like that's what I was like basically getting slammed for. But it was just me promoting another friend's like product in the right vertical for the account, but we got slammed. So I think like if you can be patient and kind of go through that process, you'll be just fine on that side of stuff. But yeah, like we were definitely doing aggressive stuff. Not that we obviously you can see that we've had our comeback. Not that we were circumventing, or we don't believe we were. Obviously, when you guys helped us straighten it out, but you know, it got back to the right person. They looked at the account and they agreed like, hey, yeah, you're doing everything right. It kind of looks like it to maybe the bot or whoever. But we got it straightened out, like, and that's one of the things. So we work in the financial vertical. We do affiliate stuff. We do lead gen for other companies through that account because it's so seasoned. And we saw that opportunity. So you guys were able to get that account back. And we were probably on the, let's call it the aggressive side of that spectrum, like probably dancing on the line, you know, especially affiliate stuff. I know they allow affiliate stuff, but I know like they don't love it. So we were definitely like at this line, you guys were still able to get that account back for us.
Simon, I love hearing this feedback. You made me very happy hearing it. Thank you for being willing to share it. And yeah, if anybody's watching this and you're dealing with a Google Ads account suspension, we'd love to chat. And like Simon said, we try to be very transparent. We'll tell you, hey, if we think we can help, if we can't, we'll tell you how it is, and see where we can go from there.